few days ago, I had to tear down my watermelon plants and leave the family garden. I kept thinking about leaving home, taking my little dog, and searching for a quiet place where my soul could rest. But my mother is still here, so I chose to stay, to be present for her while I still can. I return to what brings me peace, the garden. Here, it's just me and the plants, listening to one another. This is my new garden. I call it the Reed Garden, a organic garden, a quiet place to begin again, and to chase the dream I've always carried, the dream of having a garden to call my own. This was how the Reed Garden looked on the very first day I took it in. I rarely ever came to this place before. During the rainy season, it was full of blood-sucking leaves. I am terrified of them. But lately, the rains have stopped and the sun is out more often. The fear I had for this place has softened. And so today, I can step out here and begin transforming this space into my garden. After we renovated my grandmother's grave, all the leftover bricks and stones were dumped right here. I didn't have any plans, or even a vision for what it could become. All I knew was, I needed a space where I could bring my potted plants. I chose this spot as a temporary shelter for my potted plants. I cleared the weeds and laid some bricks on the ground. People often say, you must settle down before you can build the life. First, you need a place to belong, then everything else can grow. My potted plants may not have a fixed spot yet, but at least they already know where they belong. The Reed Garden. In some ways, they seem more certain about the future than I am. After a morning of work, the space was ready. Now I can finally bring them here. I hope all of them will thrive in this new garden. The bricks were laid in a rush, so the path is still uneven. When the ground isn't steady, neither are your steps. But give me some time. Day by day, I'll rebuild this path strong and steady. A new day begins, and I feel excited. I want to see how my plants are doing after their first night here. Maybe they had a peaceful sleep last night. This morning, they look fresh and full of life, as if they're smiling. Now that I have a new garden, I want to rescue a few more plants. I was moved to see this marigold still alive. Maybe it just wants to bloom brightly once out in nature, or simply in its own little life. This balsam flower once grew wild by the roadside. Its pink hue has always been my favorite. I gathered its seeds and planted them. Now, it's lovingly cared for organically. It's no longer a wildflower. Today will be a hard-working day, starting with cutting the grass. I watered this area for 2 days to soften the soil. Now digging is a bit easier. These flowers have been trampled and bent, yet, even from the ground, they keep blooming. Maybe they're waiting to be rescued, or simply choosing to bloom beautifully until the very end. If you can keep living, please bloom once more. And if you can't, thank you for once shining in my garden. Some stems broke near the base, others snapped along the trunk. I'm not sure they'll survive, but I replanted them again for a little peace in my mind. They once gave me the flowers I loved to see every day. I trimmed away wilted leaves, weak foliage, and dry stems. It helps reduce water loss, save energy, prevent pests, and encourage new shoots. Inside these dried blooms lie hundreds of resilient seeds. I'll keep a few as a promise for the next season. On the second morning, bright orange blooms opened wide. Fresh green buds reached for the light. Looking at them, I wonder, have they truly recovered? Or are they just pretending to be strong? Till the very end. The young marigolds in pots are slow growing and yellowing, likely lacking nitrogen and micronutrients. I've learned that mildly acidic soils still contain trace minerals plants can absorb. This area has acidic soil, but reeds and banana trees grow well, so I believe it's only mildly acidic. That's why I need to get them into the ground soon. Today, I'm planting cosmos flowers along the garden. They'll become a radiant floral fence, glowing beside the lush green reeds. As I continue to rebuild the garden, I start clearing out the remnants of the past sand, stones, and broken concrete. I want to give the soil a clean space, where my young tomato plants can begin their new journey of life. After preparing a spot for the tomatoes, I moved on to transform the right side of the garden. Each morning, I stand quietly in the garden and listen to myself. I've grown to love a simple space, less artificial, more in touch with nature. Today, I begin clearing away the bricks, so one day, the plants can truly grow into the earth. It feels like I'm playing a game of lifting and stacking bricks, over and over again. It's a bit dull, but it definitely builds endurance and patience. The garden path is now tidier. Sunflowers bloom wide, greeting the morning light. The rescued marigold is bursting with golden joy. I keep transplanting plants into the ground. This area is for tomatoes. Marigolds and impatiens will grow along the cosmos line. They will a radiant ribbon of flowers, wrapping around my little garden later. It's a windy day. I keep going with today's task, moving this chili plant from a paint bucket into the ground. It's had a rough journey, once cared for, then knocked down and abandoned, then rescued into a pot. Now it gets another chance in the soil and a new home. I noticed its roots barely grew while it was in the pot, but I hope it'll grow strong, just like the rescued brown tomato plants. I know there's a messy layer of rubble beneath these bricks. Even after a few adjustments, this garden path still feels unstable. So today, I'm focusing solely on making it solid and safe to walk on. Just one last step to finish the path. Then I'll clean up this mess. It's a bit tiring, but I'll push through to get it done. These bricks are heavy for me. I carry them a few meters at a time, rest, then continue. It looks slow, but with my current strength, this is the best I can do. I'm decorating the steps to make them less plain. The marigolds I temporarily planted under the mango tree are in full bloom. Today, I'll move them to give the mango roots their space back. The sunflowers are wilting. I'll reuse the healthy soil from their pots to support other plants. Behind me is the old garden, walled in and filled with conflict. I've let it go. Now before me lies the reed garden, where I can see fields shifting colors with the seasons. Fresh green, golden yellow, and earthy brown after harvest. Though it saddens me, I had to let go of the 2 orange flower bushes I tried to save. I could see them struggling in pain, still trying to bloom. I just learned this flower is called Chitonia rotundifolia, Mexican sunflower, or red sunflower. But I prefer the short name, Tithonia flower. Evening is my time to rest, and my little dog's favorite time to play with the neighborhood dog. I always clip a small LED light on his collar, so I can spot him in the dark. Tonight, the full moon is glowing beautifully. My dog looks like a grumpy site inspector surveying the garden. It's Valentine's Day, but with that serious face, how could he ever charm the girl dogs? There was a thunderstorm last night. Now it's noon, and this is what's left of the garden after the rain. It's time to ask these big banana trees to share a little sunlight with tomato plants. I just need to tidy up this pile of bricks, and I can expand the garden again. I remember the first time I saw this reed patch. I simply thought, I just need a small space for a few pots. Then I wanted more room for planting, so I made a little cosmos flower fence. Now I've gone past that fence to expand again. I haven't planted much yet, but I keep wanting more space. Is that plain greed? This newly expanded garden bed will be the first one I improve. I'm using lime powder, rice, husk ash, and organic compost to reduce soil acidity and suppress reed grass. I know there are more effective methods, but for now, these are the materials I have on hand. This type of soil is common in low-lying riverbank areas. The soil is compacted into large clumps, with a hard surface like it's been compressed for a long time. That's typical of clay soil. Its color shows patches of ash gray, rusty yellow-brown, and some silvery white. The plants are still able to grow and bloom here. These are signs of latent acidity, but not severe enough to be toxic yet. To make this soil easier to improve for planting, I broke it into smaller pieces. Then I sorted the soil by size, from large chunks to fine particles. Each type will serve a different purpose in the garden. Earlier, I spread the larger chunks of soil at the bottom. Today, I will add the finer soil on top. At dawn, a white mist covered the rice fields. I used to see it as something magical and poetic, but now that I'm learning about crops and agriculture, I've learned that farmers call it harmful dew. This kind of mist can lead to leaf diseases, burning, and empty grains. Sometimes, what seems beautiful at first may not be once we understand it more deeply. The cosmos flowers are waiting for the morning sun to wake them up. The reeds look like a cheering crowd, gathered around wildflower dancers in vivid orange, pink, and white dresses. A garden by flower fences and guarded by tall wild grasses. In the distance, rice fields change color with the seasons. Right now, I'm gazing at the garden, dreaming of an organic vegetable patch. I know it will be a long journey to heal this acidic, hardened soil, but I want to restore it through sustainable farming, and I'm learning as I go.